Welcome back, captains. Tonight we're heading out to catch ribbonfish. But this video isn't just about fishing. Stick with me until the end, because you'll discover why this fish has changed the lives of thousands of fishermen, and why some have even ended up in prison because of it.
Over the last few years, ribbonfish has become one of the most important commercial fish in our region. Huge amounts are exported to China, creating a massive fishery that keeps thousands of fishermen on the water almost every night. Every evening, just before sunset, boats leave the harbour and head offshore. Some travel 30 or 40 miles, while others go more than 100 miles before they even start fishing. The fishing itself is surprisingly simple. Most fishermen use nothing more than hand lines. They begin just after sunset and keep fishing until sunrise. On a really good night, a single boat can land as much as 500 kilograms of ribbonfish. But finding the fish isn't always easy. When the usual fishing spots stop producing, every boat starts searching in a different direction. Whoever finds a school of fish first immediately reports the location over the radio. Within minutes, dozens of boats race toward the same spot. If the fish stay there for another night, word spreads fast, and soon more than 1,000 boats can be fishing in exactly the same area. Large ribbonfish sell for around $2.50 per kilogram. That means one night's catch can be worth anywhere from $150 to more than $1,000, depending on how lucky you are. But here's where things get dangerous. Some of the best ribbonfish fishing grounds are located very close to international maritime borders. At night, there's nothing around you except darkness. Fishermen become so focused on catching fish that many stop checking their GPS. Meanwhile, the ocean currents never stop moving. Over the course of several hours, a boat can drift miles away from where it started, sometimes without the crew even realizing it. But this is where fishing near maritime borders can become a real problem. Sometimes, Fishermen don't realize they've drifted too far until it's too late. By the time they check their GPS, they may already be inside another country's territorial waters. Sometimes, border patrols simply warn them and send them back. Other times, they arrest the entire crew. Families can spend weeks with no news at all, believing their loved ones may have been lost at sea, until a phone call finally reveals they've been detained. And for some fishermen, it can take months before they're finally released and allowed to return home.
And here's the craziest part.
When fishing is slow everywhere else, some fishermen knowingly cross the border anyway, hoping for a better catch. So tell me, would you risk your freedom for a few more fish? Let me know your answer in the comments. For many years, ribbonfish were one of the most important fish for local fishermen in our region. The large numbers of these fish allowed thousands of fishermen along the coast to make a living and support their families through this fishery. But things started to change when large industrial fishing vessels arrived. These massive boats came with powerful trawl nets and advanced fish-finding equipment, allowing them to catch tens of tons of ribbonfish in just a single night. Soon, local fishermen started noticing the difference. The fishing spots that once provided a good catch became much harder to rely on. Many boats returned almost empty, and some fishermen who depended only on ribbonfish had no choice but to look for other work or leave fishing behind completely. After many complaints from local fishermen, restrictions were finally placed on these industrial vessels. Slowly, over time, ribbonfish catches started improving again for smaller fishing boats, but it was never the same as before. Many local fishermen believed that the damage caused to the sea, the habitat, and other fish species was impossible to fully recover from. In the end, the decline in catches pushed many fishermen to travel farther than ever before, searching for new fishing grounds and getting closer to border areas and more dangerous waters, all in the hope of finding a better catch. Although ribbonfish is not our main target, there are times when the conditions are not right for the fish we usually search for, like king mackerel or grouper. On those days, we also come out to catch ribbonfish. Sometimes, we only spend a few hours catching some ribbonfish, which we later use as bait for our king mackerel fishing trips. By the way, captains, tell me in the comments below, what kind of fish do you usually go after? Is fishing your job, or is it something you do just for fun? Either way, I think we can all agree on one thing: Fishing is seriously addictive. No matter how many times you go out, you always want to go back for another adventure.
Well, captains, that's the end of today's adventure.
We didn't spend days far offshore on this trip, but after a few hours of fishing, we were lucky enough to bring home around 100 kilograms of ribbonfish. Every trip on the water is different. Sometimes you return with a great catch, and sometimes you come back with only memories. But that's what makes fishing so special. To all the fishermen watching this video, I wish you safe trips, calm seas, and amazing catches in your next adventures. Always stay safe, respect the ocean, and most importantly, enjoy every moment you spend on the water. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from, what fish you usually target, and share your own fishing stories with us. Thanks for watching, captains. Until the next adventure, tight lines.